Hey there, A's Day fans. Welcome to this Friday edition of A's Day. We're back with a brand new episode. I'm your host, Joe Grotto, and today we are going to dive into all of the wonders of Mesa during our visit to the City Limitless. Thank you to our partnership with Visit Mesa. We are so thankful. We wish we were still down there experiencing the wondrous lands. So that's what we're going to cover today. And then at the end, we just got a couple of programming updates before we get on out of here for the weekend. But today is Friday, February 28th, and today is the last day housed within a month that there won't be any baseball until October. Tomorrow is March 1st. That means each month from March all the way through October, there will be at least one day with baseball in it. So we are very excited, counting down the days until the A's are heading on up to Seattle to take on the Mariners to kick off the 2025 season. They're certainly off to a strong start in the Cactus League as they jumped the Reds 13-1. I believe Lawrence Butler hit 2 homers today. I know he had at least one thunderous one to dead center off of a 99-mile-an-hour heater off Hunter Green. Very impressive. A's showing some impressive things to kick off spring training. They're getting their groove as they prepare for another season. So with that, let's jump to the opening music, and then we will head into our discussion of the best places and hotspots to check out for your next trip to Mesa, Arizona. Our Friday edition of A's Day, which we are going to get right in and talk about all of the wonders that we got to experience down in Mesa, Arizona. Before we jump in, we just want to give a quick shout out to our social media accounts so that you will be able to keep up with all the content that we're going to be continuing to upload to our YouTube channel as well as our Instagram and our X. So for those that have been there with us since day one, this is probably sounding old, but be sure to tell your friends because the more we're able to grow, the more that we'll be able to provide. So on our Instagram page, it's at A's Day Baseball Podcast. On X, formerly known as Twitter, it's at A's Day Baseball. And you can find all of our video content on our YouTube channel at A's Day Podcast. And for all of you loyal fans, again from day one, for all you new listeners, and for those to come on and be a subscriber at our Patreon site, patreon.com/A'sDay. For just $2 a month, you'll be entered to win exclusive giveaways such as a monthly A's Day t-shirt raffle, some autographed A's memorabilia that we were able to acquire during our spring training trip, and as well as some future A's ticket giveaways and so much more. Like I said, the bigger we grow this thing, the more that we'll be able to give back to you, and that's our goal. It's all about the fans and covering the athletics and making sure we make this as an exciting experience as possible. So again, please like, follow, tell your friends, subscribe wherever you can. Patreon.com/A'sDay. Okay, so we are going to just jump right in and talk about our experience in Mesa City Limitless. Just want to give a shout out to Visit Mesa, our partner, who without them, none of this would have been possible. So shout out to Zoe and Kate at Visit Mesa. I appreciate the both of you very much. And it was really everything we could have dreamed of and then some. It's really has that small town feel, such a close community feel, but so many different things to do. And obviously, to the baseball world, Mesa is really known as a home bed for two spring training teams. But getting to fully immerse ourselves into the Mesa culture, it's so much more. It's such a cool artsy town. So there were, I believe, it was 52 statues of different events and different historical people that had an important meaning and distinction to the development and founding, or something to do with Mesa, some historical fun fact. And it was cool reading the little plaques. If you get an opportunity to check those out, the majority of them, I believe, are located on Main Street, the main strip through downtown Mesa. Really cool. We took some cool pictures in front of them, with especially some of the ones sitting down. Try to act like we were sitting there in conversation with them too as well. Stay tuned. We are going to be posting a lot of that content starting over the weekend, but mainly next week too as well. We wanted to release this episode first to kind of give our overview of some cool hotspots to see, some things we got to experience, and then we're going to kind of chop it up and kind of break it down over the course of the next several weeks, because we want to keep being reminded of this trip. If you're someone that's been itching to take a trip down to Arizona for spring training, do it. Especially if you're an A's fan. Really cool opportunity. We talked a lot more about the baseball side on Monday, but besides that baseball experience that you'll get witnessing the A's practice up close and personal at Lou Wolf Training Complex or Fitch Park, or at Hohokam Stadium, or taking in an A's spring game. If you have a family, fans of all ages, you'll be able to interact, get some autographs from your favorite A's, take pictures, make memories that are going to last a lifetime. But there's so much more to that. You can immerse yourselves into the arts. You can see all the different cool murals that are painted on walls. Respectfully, there's one that was downtown Mesa. I thought that was a really cool one. And then my fiance actually took a picture in front of one that was the silhouette. It was a butterfly, and it was the way it was situated is that she could stare right in the middle of it, and it looked like the vibrant, colorful wings protruded from her. It was a really cool photo spot. So for all you influencers and people that just love to take photos, just giving out a couple of hotshot photo ops to check out. So just really walking around downtown, you can feel the culture for sure. But we want to get into first, and obviously when experiencing spring training or your time there, those days can be long, right? So I'm sure your average person, your average fan is going to be pretty hungry. So we want to share some of the exciting eats that we had during our time in Mesa. So to start, there's no particular order here, but we had some amazing tacos at Tacos Chihuas. It's a place located right downtown in Mesa. We are going to post on our YouTube channel as well as our social media just some visuals highlighting each establishment, some of the menu items we tried, and then my little personal reaction to taking a bite into it. So it was really delicious tacos that it's a very simple menu, but it has so much to offer, and simplicity is key, because sometimes when you have too many options, it can really get lost in the wonders. So we had tried a couple of their different tacos with their delicious barbacoa and their chicken, but then we had a gordita, which is, if you're not familiar with it, it's very similar to a pupusa, but it's just shaped a little bit differently. So you do have that flour tortilla on the outside with the delicious meats, cheese. I think it was like some mild or pico de gallo on the inside. So I can't stress that enough. If you're looking for a lunch spot before heading to Hohokam for a game, Or if it's early, you want that meal between, or that if it's kind of a weird time, you don't want something too heavy, but you want something a little bit that's gonna hold you over till dinner. Highly recommend going to Tacos Chiwas. Really delicious. The customer service was amazing. Very patient because there are so many different meats and delicious options. Even though the menu is simple, there are so many different ways that you can go with it. It's a good thing. Basically, could have had one of everything, and can't wait to get back down there if we're there next year. So shout out, be on the look for that. Tacos Chiwas, located downtown Mesa. Can't miss that green and white sign. It's usually been pretty busy too as well. We ate there the one day, but each time we walked by it, it seemed like there was almost every seat filled. And they had these delicious, like, natural fruit juices, not the ones that are filled with all the different preservatives or high fructose corn syrup. But it actually tasted, and we had one, I believe it was watermelon. One was watermelon, then was watermelon and passion fruit. It tasted like you would crack open the fruit and drink straight out of it. So if you want a healthy alternative to just having simple water, that fruit water was highly recommended. It had good ingredients. It tasted really fresh. Highly recommend that they have that. It'll go very well with any dish that you have at Tacos Chiwas. So moving on here, another lunch spot we highly recommend is Gus's Fried Chicken. So it's also located in downtown Mesa. I think that at least the last 2 years were in the top 100 of places to eat according to Yelp. It's worth the price of admission for sure. This is also a place. It's a good lunch or dinner spot, depending where you're in the mood for some chicken. It's nice, friendly customer service. You get options to choose from: chicken breast, wings, legs. You can do a la carte. You can do their platters. I know personally I got one wing, one chicken breast, and one leg. I wanted to try a little bit, or excuse me, one breast, one tender, and one wing. Wanted to try one of each just to kind of give some good feedback, because just the smell of the place walking in, you knew it was going to be good, and it didn't fail to amaze as advertised. I would recommend the breast and the wing were preferred over the tender. I just thought the breast was very succulent, the way you're picking at it from the bone. All of it though, very good crunch, very good crisp. You can get white meat or dark meat. Excellent sides too as well. They have we couldn't figure it out. There's this different seasoning that seemed to be used at Arizona-based restaurants, but it was delicious. It was kind of like Old Bay seasoning, but like with a southern twist or something. So any of you Arizona natives want to chime in and let us know what that is. We just want to experience it more. We want to shout it out properly. But that was something we noticed there at some other a couple of other establishments in Mesa too as well. But it's definitely a good thing. Definitely another place to go, before the game or for dinner. I definitely recommend checking out this place. It's on the top 100 list for a reason. I guarantee it probably won't be going off that list anytime soon. Another establishment that we had. Now we're going to kind of transition more to our dinner options that we mainly focused on. Was first the Goat and Ram. So all these places, except for the last dinner spot that we're going to talk about, were located in downtown Mesa. So it's really nice. It's really walk friendly, especially if you're staying at the hotel that we stayed at, which we'll get to that after we get into the eating establishments. But it's really in walking distance. You can be at most of these places within 10 minutes, 15 at most, depending how far downtown the strip you're going. But very walkable town. We love that. The less you need a car, the better. It's just easier to get out and about. It's always good to immerse yourself in the town that way, and kind of just see the different restaurants, different breweries, different attractions, all that good stuff. Those little shops that the small business owners have as well are very important to showcase, because we love small businesses. We're a small platform ourselves, and hopefully we'll all grow together. But yeah, so with that, we'll get to our next establishment. Was the Goat and Ram. We each tried, we shared a pizza, which was plenty for two people. It was 6 slices. It had an interesting sauce texture. It was very flavorful and kind of had like a bacon undertone, which is very delicious. And they have, your regular standard mozzarella cheese, but they do put a dab of ricotta cheese on top too as well. And the crust, it's like a combination of airy and crunchy, so it's a really good mix. If you're looking for some good pizza to pair with their local in-house craft beer, which was really delicious. The Goat and Ram is housed inside of the Phantom Fox Beer Company. The beers were very memorable, very crisp. We kind of, I believe one of us got the Pilsner, the other one got a house ale, or I can't remember the exact names, but I knew it was those two types of beers, and they were very delicious, very crisp, very refreshing. Paired well with the pizza. If you're looking for a quick dinner spot, it's housed nestled right in the middle of downtown. Good place to stop into. Also, very good decor. It had like a nice like brick undertone throughout the restaurant. You can see the brewery, all those machineries in the back. It's always cool to see the distribution line, at least in my opinion. Really adds that decor to the establishment overall. So definitely recommend stopping in there. Another brewery that brewing company that we actually had dinner there too as well was 12 West Brewing. And I know, once again, the drinks were delicious. It was very similar. They have a ton of beers on tap, some brewed in-house, some from local establishments all throughout. But we were really blown away by the food, especially my fiance's plate. She got the green chili mac and cheese, and she couldn't recommend it more. I know it had like your standard like mac and cheese, the grilled green chilies, but then it had queso mixed in there too as well, and it really made it a very cheesy, flavorful dish. It's something that I never tasted before. I had to give my personal take on it too as well. Made sure it was okay and edible, of course. And then I enjoyed their delicious brewery burger too. It was cooked to perfection, very good size, and we had the opportunity to substitute the fries. I substituted for truffle fries. Love truffle oil. Definitely always a must. They have that option there. Really paired well with the burger. Very happy that we chose there for one of our dinner choices for sure during our time in Mesa. If you're looking to watch a ball game there, have some drinks at the bar, just enjoy the time there before maybe heading out to a concert. I know Innings Fest was going on. I think some people stopped in the 12 West Room before heading on over there. It's also in a good location downtown. I'll definitely recommend stopping in there. Really cool place to check out. And speaking of breweries, we're going to transition to what we feel was our favorite brewery stop, was the Chupacabra Brewery. So it's on Main Street. It's right off Main Street, but like half a block. You can see it from the main road. It's kind of like in this square. There was like Pedal House Brewery, and on the right-hand side you had this place, which was Chupacabra Brewery. We felt like that was our favorite place in terms of beer selection, but also the overall atmosphere. Their beers were delicious. They're also had them. I think it was at least like 22 different types on tap. It might have been more, but a wide array selection of sours, ales, pilsners, stouts, IPAs, you name it, they had it. I went with a couple of pilsners. It was very refreshing, especially after a warm day, being outside, watching some spring training or going for a hike, which we'll get into all that in a little bit. It's definitely nice to cool off with a nice cold beer. And they have indoor and outdoor seating too as well. It's very warm in there, especially if there's a pretty good crowd. So definitely recommend if you can secure a seat outside. And there is more seating available outside too as well. Won't be chilly. Maybe in the month of February you'll get towards the chillier end at night. But all in all, like if you're there in the month of March or beyond, I think it'll be just fine. But very comfortable. I do think they had heat lamps if upon request, or if the weather got cold enough. They weren't on when we were there, but I did see them in the corner. So Maybe if it is a little chilly, you could request those. But definitely, Chupacabra Brewery, stop on in there. You won't be disappointed. We also checked out Oro Brewing, which also had a nice beer selection. I thought it was cool. They had different names. I know they had a couple that were like baseball themed. So playing into the theme of, Mesa being partially, a spring training home, a baseball home. So I like I said, I know it stands for so much more than that, but I think they played into that. I, of course, got that beer and really enjoyed the homey atmosphere. It's definitely a smaller brewery. I do know they are supportive of the local food establishments because they had their menus available upon request. So it's really cool to see how the community all works together. Same thing too. If you're looking for a close-knit community, somewhere to just watch a game, have a couple drinks, meet someone, definitely check out Oro Brewing. I think it's right next to Gus's Chicken as well. So that's a cool little strip right down there. And then we're going to get to our favorite place in terms of like nightlife in Mesa, in downtown Mesa. So, these breweries are definitely options. Like if you're looking to just, kick it with a couple drinks, try a couple different, lagers, ales, pilsners, you name it. But if you're looking kind of for, some music going on, maybe being a little bit more interactive, we recommend stopping down also on that main street, the Level Up Arcade Bar. It's really a cool place for adult fun with video games. So it's cool where they have a whole bunch of pinball machines, probably from the time my dad was a kid. They had Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man. They had NFL Blitz. Just thinking of some of the pinball machines. They had Jurassic Park. They had, I think, a Beetlejuice one. So many different. It was cool. Like, they had a Terminator one, a Simpsons one. They had, and then a whole row downstairs. The first level when you walk in of dartboards, so you could play darts. That was probably the most popular attraction. Was the dartboards. Those were always filled the whole time we were there. But definitely understand why. That's really fun. And then they have a full bar. It looks like a club in there, honestly, at the bar. It has like a pinkish hue on the bar top. A really cool place to be. I think it's the place that stays open latest in downtown Mesa. I could be wrong. But it was certainly a really fun experience for us. Thanks again to Visit Mesa. They had a bunch of leftover play tokens, so we took full advantage of that and had ourselves a fun night. Had a couple drinks. They have a wide arrangement of different types of cocktails, plenty of different beers on tap. They had a whole row of them. And then if you're they had some cheap, I think, Jello shots too as well. So if you want that, they kind of had a little bit of everything, different drink specials depending on what day you're in there. But definitely highly recommend. Very, very fun, cool, high energy atmosphere. Definitely a fun way to cap off the night for sure. But yeah, so that kind of caps the nightlife. And my apologies because I realize kind of going a little bit all over the map here with food, but we need to take it back to one place that I can't believe we left out because it was the first place we went to for lunch, and then we actually went there again after our night out at Level Up Arcade, Main Burgers. So that place opened, I think, only like 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe a couple months at most, but it's one of the newest hotspots in town. It's on the corner on Main Street, downtown Mesa. Delicious burgers. You can get a single, you can get double, you can dress it up how you like. Really good quality meat. Really good place for lunch or that late night grub that you need after a night out. So, and the fries seemed hand cut too as well. Really good friendly customer service in there. That building, I was told it used to be a Subway. They turned it in this place called Main Burgers, and I think it's for the best because that place seems like it's going to be there to stay. Highly recommend Lunch Spot. If you're looking for the tasty burger, to me, I think it's the tastiest burger in down Main Burgers. You won't be disappointed, so needed to shout them out. Okay. Now let's transition. I couldn't forget them. I was thinking about like the different foods that we had. And And then we'll wrap up with one more dinner spot too as well, because this one wasn't actually located in downtown Mesa. It was actually located in the Mesa Asian district. So it was housed in the Mesa marketplace, and they have a bunch of these different establishments located in there. Like there was a boba shop, there was a tea place, there was a full supermarket, there was a couple of sushi spots. I think there was I saw something like some kind of sushi burger or whatnot. But we actually checked out Happy Bao. So it was this place where we tried some bao buns, we tried some dumplings. Please, you gotta stop in here. Highly recommend that. It's the Mesa Asian District. That's this whole marketplace. You won't be disappointed. You'll be able to try a little different, experience different aspects of Asian culture in there. You get to see like their little trinkets and shops in there within that marketplace. I thought it was really cool. So, and the bao buns, the dumplings, you'll be seeing content of them shortly on our YouTube channel and our social media pages when we shout them out. But it's extremely delicious. And then the other place that we went to for dinner that was off the downtown Mesa Strip, that main street, was called Mensho. And I think this was actually our favorite dinner spot overall. Mensho, it's a ramen place, Mensho Ramen. It's farm to bowl. And the noodles are such quality. The thickness of it was perfect. And the flavor. We had, two delicious ramen bowls, one with chicken, one with pork. And the abundance of flavors. You can have it regular, you can have it spicy. And then they cook it right there in front of you. It's a really cool experience. If you go on in, there's a little bit of surprise. They greet every customer who comes in, and they give a nice friendly goodbye as you're exiting. So I think that really is welcoming to everyone into the room. Really cool decor in there. There's a mix of high top, where you can be close to where they're preparing all the food. You can view how they prep your bowl, which is cool. And then there's your regular low tops if you want more of like a dining room table experience. Mensho Ramen, you gotta visit it. If you like ramen, even if you don't, maybe this will make you a ramen fan. But that was certainly our favorite dinner spot during our time in Mesa. All right, let's get to a couple of attractions that we experienced, but then also like a couple of other add-ons to those. But before we do, we want to take a quick turn here to thank our partner, Visit Mesa, with a quick ad read. Welcome to Mesa, Arizona, a gateway city to one of the most dynamic regions in the country. With countless places for new discoveries, competitive sports, Wild West adventures, and farm-to-table cuisine, like Mensho Ramen, Mesa is a city that knows no bounds. From urban to rural, mountain peak to desert floor, arts and culture to wildlife and nightlife, each and every guest is given unparalleled access to one of the richest arrays of visitor offerings in the country. A geographic wonderland, Mesa is close to the Tonto National Forest and the iconic Superstition Mountains, but for enough to experience the wide open and true Arizona vacation. From here, all things are possible, leaving you breathless and sure to show you why we, Mesa, are city limitless. So next time you're planning a trip, or if you're heading on down to Arizona, check out visitmesa.com. They'll put together a kickin' itinerary for you to fully immerse yourself into City Limitless Mesa, or stop into their downtown office located on the second floor of 1 North McDonald, right there in downtown Mesa. They are wonderful people. They'll make sure you have the vacation of a lifetime. I know that we did for sure, and we can't wait to hopefully go back next year. So visit Mesa, check them out. They will steer you in the direction that you need to go. Okay, so let's get back to our discussion of Mesa as we transition to more of the things to do. So we talked about some of the hot spots that we ate at, and some of the places that we got some cold, refreshing drinks. Now we're going to talk about more of the attractions that you can do in the Mesa area. So obviously, to kick it off, you can go, and we'll mention it again, but we already talked about more on Monday's show. We'll have content of it, but to check out the A's in spring training, you're going to want to head to Lou Wolf Training Complex, which is the practice fields, where the A's minor leaguers build up for their season once the Cactus League games kick off. But leading up to that, so around the dates when you see pitchers and catchers report, or when you see guys reporting for the first full squad workout, through that week up until their first game, they're going to be practicing at these practice fields. And that's the best access you're going to get in terms of getting up close to see some pretty cool drills that they're going to do, meet some of your favorite A's, all that good stuff. Like you can make memories of a lifetime, and really get to know the team heading into the season. Highly recommend if you can get there earlier. The earlier, the better. The crowds are low, and the players are very engaging. It was a very family-friendly environment. But then once games start, there's also practices that happen in the morning at Hohokam Stadium. And typically those are open to the public. The one day that we tried to go, it was closed to the public because they were having a team event, a barbecue, I believe, right after. So it was just for, family, friends, all that, and for the team. But typically you'll be able to go there. Practices usually are about 9 or 10 in the morning, and they'll practice till about 12:30 or 1. Again, players are very receptive. They're very interactive with the fans. Make sure you come bring your baseball cards, baseballs, anything you want to get signed. Bring your cameras, take your pictures on your phones. Make memories that are going to last a lifetime. That's a big part of spring training. It's a much more laid-back and family-friendly experience as compared to when the 162-game grind begins. So definitely a big alert to, heading down to spring training February and March. But certainly, if you're planning a trip to March, obviously, like I said, start to visit Mesa. They'll plan together your Mesa trip the right way, but then get as much spring training in as you can. Some other things that we checked out. So we actually stopped by the Mesa Historical Museum. So this isn't downtown. It's kind of, I think it was like 8 minutes away from downtown from what I remember. So it's very accessible. It's a short drive. So that's definitely preferred. It's a different part of town. But they have a really cool play ball experience. And we're going to be posting a lot of content about what we saw there next week. We're going to give you a walking tour in some spots, including they have the Cactus League Hall of Fame in there. And you walk into this room, it's just like you go in, it's like a mini Hall of Fame, like it's like a mini Cooperstown. It's cool. There's a lot of old artifacts, some old autograph memorabilia. They actually just got in some new old athletics artifacts. So I think we were one of the first people to see it. It was 3 old trunks that they used to probably house their equipment in, uniforms, and one of them said the Philadelphia Athletics. It was from decades ago, and so that was like ancient history in terms of baseball history. It was cool to be able to view those and see, and just think about some of the guys that that probably housed the clubhouse in and some of their equipment and uniform, and it's just a blast of the past because it's always cool to I'm someone that's someone that enjoys the current game, but also likes to go back in history and learn about the roots and foundations and all the statistics and all the cool artifacts. I'm all about that. So it was really cool to see that. There was some athletic stuff in there too as well. There was a Raleigh Fingers jersey, and then there was pictures of Raleigh Fingers and Reggie Jackson as well. I think they're both in the Cactus League Hall of Fame. But then I saw, and rest in peace, Bob Uecker just passed. Is in that room. There was a plaque and a picture dedicated to him. So that was pretty cool. But every baseball fan, A's, Cubs, or whoever's rolling through the Mesa area, definitely recommend checking out the Mesa Historical Museum. That's worth the price of admission alone, but then there's so much more that shows off the history and wonders and culture of Mesa. It shows the foundations of where the Hohokams come from or where the art culture comes from. There's a room that's dedicated to cat art that was, I think, created about 25 years ago. We'll get into it. I don't want to give too much away here because I'm going to discuss it more on our video content that's going to start coming out next week. But it was really cool. It was created like 25 years ago, and then repurposed and put on display for all to enjoy 20 years ago. Or I have to look back into that, but it's just really cool. It's like a different array of artifacts and historical pieces that really put together the history of Mesa, and some different cool events as to why the town is the way it is today. So if you're someone that likes baseball, someone that likes history, combine it in one place. They are expanding upon it too as well. There is an old schoolhouse too that's another part of the exhibit. The overall landscape outside is pretty cool as you're walking in. There's a big cactus. You see an old wagon, so it kind of gives you like as if you're entering into the Old West before and entering into another dimension and experiencing the history of Mesa and the culture that comes with it. And the director, shout out, she is also from the East Coast, so it was very refreshing. Always like to meet my East Coast natives, so shout out. Looking forward to speaking there again, so we can cross promote our platforms, and certainly want to make sure we're promoting both of our. They got some really good causes going on, so we'll be shouting out those brick drives and book drives here shortly. So shout out Mesa Historical Museum. If you're in town, definitely recommend looking for something to do. Immerse yourself in some culture. The play ball exhibit, every baseball fan should experience. It's a really cool room. I can't wait to. We're gonna have a piece of like a walking tour, kind of our personal take, and show you all throughout, and have some pretty cool, interesting facts to go along with it. So stay tuned for that. That'll be available on social media and our YouTube channel too as well. So another attraction, something else that you can do is hiking is big in this area. It's about 25 to 30 minutes away from downtown. So definitely a short drive, but totally worth it. You're going to immerse yourself. If you want to experience the desert, or at least the tip of it, we went to the Usury Park mountain range, and when you get there, you are surrounded by a mountain range, but then you see the fields of all the cacti, and some are small, some are big, some are in between. But the trail, we went on the Vista Trail, just because we were a little short on time. It really displays the full wonder of the landscape. So if you want to immerse yourself, there are different trails all throughout. There's some that go for 2.5 miles each way. There's some that are a mile. There's some for every level of hiker. But if you want a good quick half mile out and back hike, get to see some different cacti, feel that Arizona desert a little bit, take some cool pictures. Definitely recommend doing some hiking while you're in town. Our next time that we're there, we definitely want to do more than one. And we can't wait to show all the different cacti, all the different landscapes that we got to experience. Usury Park Mountain Range, it's beautiful. It's in a really cool location, and it's a good way to start the day. It's a good way to get that natural energy boost and really appreciate the wonders that Mesa has to offer. Besides the downtown attractions, it has an expansive, nature and geographical wonders to offer too as well. And that little attachment, by the way, that I said with some of these attractions, here's the first one. So whether you want, breakfast before or after, definitely recommend What's Crackin' Cafe. They have an amazing breakfast and lunch menu too as well. We got some breakfast. I know we tried. It was a blueberry French toast. It was blueberry muffin French toast, but it tastes like you're eating just like a blueberry pancake or a blueberry muffin. We couldn't really wrap our heads around it, but you have to get it. And then also had a carne bowl, so it was like an omelet, and that was delicious. It was carne asada with pico and scrambled eggs, and most of the dishes comes with sides of tater tots too as well. So I always like that touch. You don't get that everywhere. They're crunchy, crispy, not greasy at all. So those two paired well together because it was on the way back from downtown. So on the way back to downtown. So if you're either going on the way up to your hike or on the way back, depending on your reference or on your preference of when you would want that meal. It's very accessible, getting from downtown Mesa to Usury Park. Just wanted to mention that place because it was very, very delicious. So yeah, about only 25 to 30 minutes away. You'll be there in no time. Definitely a quick day trip for sure. Make sure you bring plenty of water because it does get hot out there. And then we wanted to shout out one more attraction. We unfortunately didn't get a chance to check it out, just because we ended up appearing at an event, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But it's a really cool place. It just opened up. Revel Surf at Cannon Beach. So it's a 37-acre, multi-acre development. It's an extensive wave park, but they also have surfing, cliff diving, and real sand beach. Also a place that you can get some lunch to as well. They have a grill right there. If you're into surfing, you want to get, you miss being by the beach, head there. There's nothing like it in Arizona. They're using extensive surf technology, so we won't have any content around there this time, but if we're there next year, we'll be sure to we'll make it a point to spend part of at least one of our days there, because it seems like a really cool place. Unfortunately didn't make it there, but heard nothing but great things, so check it out. Revel Surf at Cannon Beach, definitely a cool place to cool off, and people watch too as well. And we'll wrap up our attractions here with our experience that the Downtown Mesa Association actually put on. And Visit Mesa was one of its top sponsors or partners. So it was the Downtown Mesa Baseball Block Party. So that happened the Saturday that we were down there. And it's a cool event. It's a Saturday event to kick off the Cactus League schedule. Most teams had started on that day or the day before, but it's a cool way to bring the Mesa community together and get people excited about baseball. There's a bunch of little baseball activities for kids to participate in. I saw there's an inflatable little contraption where they were throwing batting practice to the kids. That was cool. There was face painting activities, beer gardens, plenty of different ballpark snacks. There was a foot-long corn dog, I think I saw. A little bit of everything. Live music. Baxter, the Arizona Diamondbacks mascot, made an appearance. And then there was also a live baseball Q&A that took place toward the beginning of the event. And that's where A's Day comes in. So the mayor of Mesa, he introduced the event once there was some live music in the first hour, 45 minutes or so. And they kicked it off, welcoming everyone, introducing himself, thanking everyone for coming out. He was wearing a cowboy hat and a Cubs shirt, so definitely loud and proud about his love of baseball in Mesa. And they had a ticket giveaway for Cubs spring training because, if you didn't know, as an A's fan, the Cubs are also in Mesa on the other side of town at Sloan Park. So just another thing to do while you're in town if you're just, all about that spring training, want to see as much baseball as you can. The Cubs are also in town at Sloan Park, so keep that in mind. But from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, I was fortunate enough to be able to participate in a live Q&A, just talk about baseball, answering questions from fans in the crowd, and was on stage with Phoenix sports personality Derek Montilla. Who's very well known, covering the Diamondbacks, covers all Phoenix area sports, but certainly people are very familiar with that name and voice. So it was really cool and an honor to share a stage with him. And I thought, we just had natural chemistry right from the start. We're talking a little Diamondbacks, talking a little bit of A's, giving our perspective on how we thought the 2025 season would go. Then we opened it up to the floor, like I mentioned, to different questions that the fans might have. So really cool experience. Got to shout out A's Day on the stage. Derek got to shout out his platforms too as well. Can't thank him enough. I know we were fortunate for the opportunity to pair with him, and we feel like everything maybe happens for a reason, because I really enjoyed talking baseball with him, and certainly would appreciate, and we've certainly exchanged contact information, and can definitely envision us doing some baseball content in the future. So stay tuned for that. It's definitely something that'll be of high quality. He's someone's baseball mind that you want to pick, and he'll make it very entertaining. We'll certainly, don't want to give too much away, and nothing's definitely, in stone or anything like that, but definitely would love to have Derek on the show sometime for you all to get to know him. And then, maybe I'll be on a Phoenix show, his podcast as well. So we'll see. We'll have more details as that moves forward or whatnot. Getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. But so, next year, this is something to keep in mind. That first week, if you see, games on that first Friday or Saturday, which is usually, February 21st, 22nd, 23rd, just depends on the calendar falls. That's probably when Downtown Mesa is going to have their baseball block party. It's a cool way, if you're in Mesa, to check out, hang out with the community, get excited about baseball. And they also had a Corbin Carroll and Lourdes Gurriel junior lookalike contest for the kids. So that was very cool. It's a good way to get excited about baseball. Check it out. A lot of good snacks. It's a free event, too, as well. Like, obviously, there's, things you could buy, like food, drinks, raffle tickets, all of that stuff, but it's free admission. So check it out next time you're there. I know I'm hoping to be a part of it already next year if we're back down there. It was really, really exciting. We had never done anything like that in terms of a live Q&A. So everyone that came out and asked questions or just got to know a little bit about Derek and myself, thank you so much, and we hope to see you again next year. And with that, we just, want to wrap up a little shout out about, the comfort and, the thankful and gratitude and the hospitality we were shown during our stay at the Delta Hotel by Marriott, Phoenix Mesa. Like I mentioned, it's a 10-minute walk to downtown Mesa, to all the, best hotspots like food, breweries, Level 1 Arcade Brewery. It's a 4-minute drive to the athletics facilities. It's a really good location, but besides that, and we're going to show some content here next week too as well. As soon as you walk in, there's people at the front desk waiting to assist you, and there's a very welcoming bar on the left hand side. It has like a nice luxurious feel to it, but not being over extravagant. They had some available conference rooms that people were taking advantage of in terms of getting some collaborative teamwork done. But it's not an overly noisy area, which was nice. So people were getting work done without being interrupted or interfere with people, running and screaming in the lobby. You had some family stay there, but you had a lot of, businessmen. It was a nice balanced mix. You have a 24-hour fitness facility. So, went, I think at 5, it was like 5 a.m. When I went. And you had 2 or 3 other people there. I saw people later in the day there, people on their lunch break. So it's open based to fit on your schedule, whether you're on the road and you want to get a workout in. Definitely plenty in there. There was, I believe, 3 treadmills in there. There was a few exercise bikes, dumbbells that go up to 50 pounds. So definitely enough to get the job done. And then in terms of the rooms itself, slept like a baby each night. And, housekeeping did an excellent job making it extra clean each day, it felt like. Refreshed the towels, made the beds. Everything was crisp, clean. A very nice, airy room. And definitely a good place to get a good night's sleep. Good, comfortable beds. Definitely would highly recommend if you're booking a trip to go see the A's in Mesa this upcoming March. Head on, stay at Delta Hotel by Marriott, Phoenix Mesa. You'll be glad you did. Definitely a great location right downtown. And there's free parking on site too as well. So it's very convenient. And then you'll be able to relax in the pool and that outdoor hot tub too as well. That's definitely a game changer. The water is nice and warm. It's the perfect temperature to swim most days down there, and then the hot tub's always good at night after a long day or in the morning. I think the hours in the pool and hot tub area is 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., so it covers whether you like getting there early in the morning or later at night. Definitely very relaxing, and definitely friendly people, nice community feel there too as well. Definitely felt very open, and it was a very nice, I'm just thinking back, and relaxing piece of paradise right there in Merida and in Mesa. So shout out, thank you so much, Delta Hotels by Phoenix Mesa. If we're there next year, hopefully we stay with you again. We loved every second of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, we just want to thank, again, the people of Visit Mesa, Kate and Zoe. We appreciate both of you very much. We enjoyed our trip to Mesa very much. It had the elements of baseball heaven, but then being able to fully immerse ourselves in the culture too. That was very cool. Got a little bit of everything. We were sad to go home, but definitely we're already looking ahead for 2026. So if you guys are listening to us, we're very interested. We're very happy and ready to get started on a new itinerary to discuss ideas. But for anyone itching to go see the A's in spring training, please go do it. This is an exciting time for the team, but all in all, it's a wonder down there. It really is city limitless. You can turn your trip into whatever you want it to be, and it's so much more than just a spring training trip. The whole family will love it. There's something for everyone. And with that, that's a show. Thank you so much. I think this was our longest episode, but we wanted to make sure that we covered all the aspects of what we experienced during our time in Mesa. And this is just the kickoff of all the content that we're going to be releasing next week and beyond, because we want to shout out every place that we stopped by. We really enjoyed our time, and we want to give you basically a little bit of a guide on how to fully immerse yourself into the city of Mesa. So our next show is actually going to be released tomorrow. That's right, because I can't believe how much time flies, but tomorrow is Saturday, March 1st, and we'll be releasing our first A's player and prediction profile. It's going to be an episode a day for each player that we project to be on the opening day roster until opening day, where we conclude with an overall A's team profile and prediction. So tomorrow, expect that. At some point, we'll announce it on our social media pages. And then the video version will be available on YouTube as well. We're starting with catcher Shea Langoliers. So that's how it's going to work. We're going to start behind the dish, work our way around the diamond all the way throughout, and then get to our pitching rotation and finish up with the bullpen, and culminated by a team episode on opening day morning. And then we'll still be continuing with our regular scheduled shows too as well. So on Monday's show, we're going to be projecting that opening day roster. So that way we'll give you an idea of who we're thinking is going to crack camp. And then you can expect and track who you're going to hear a player profile and prediction episode about too as well. It's a great way to learn about the A's roster. And if for those that already know, it's a nice reminder of who we'll be rooting on in 2025. Once again, with all of our exciting content that has been posted and continuing to come, you can follow us on our social media sites at A's Day Baseball Podcast on Instagram, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at A's Day Baseball, our YouTube channel at A's Day Podcast, and to become an official subscriber to be entered to win some cool A's Day and A's memorabilia giveaways and tickets. Patreon.com/A's Day for just $2 a month. You'll be an official subscriber for life. You'll be glad you did. That's all for today. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in to kick off your weekend with us. That's another episode of A's Day. Holy Toledo, that's another show. We're going to get on out of here. And looking forward to seeing you back behind the mic on Monday. Take care, all. Have a good weekend.